Have you ever rescued an animal thinking it was one thing, only to find out it was something completely different? Stay with me, because this story is going to touch your heart. And don't forget to hit that like button if you love animals as much as I do. The day it all began. It was an ordinary Friday afternoon when Lucas, a 14-year-old boy, was riding his bike home from school along a dirt road that cut through the countryside. The sun was already setting, painting the sky orange, when something on the roadside caught his attention. A small puppy, seemingly abandoned, was struggling to crawl. It was injured, dirty, and visibly terrified. Lucas didn't think twice. He had to help that helpless little creature. If you would also stop everything to help an animal, comment below, "I would stop." I want to see who else has a heart that big. The boy took off his own shirt, gently wrapped the puppy in it, and placed it in the basket on his bike. The little animal was trembling non-stop, but something in its eyes showed a silent gratitude Lucas would never forget. The first strange signs. When Lucas got home, he showed the puppy to his mother, Marcia. She was worried at first, but when she saw how fragile and hurt the little creature was, her heart softened too. "It looks like a stray puppy," Marcia said, examining its wounded paws and pointed snout. "But there's something different about it." And there really was. But at that moment, no one could have imagined what was coming next. They cleaned the puppy's wounds with warm water and antiseptic, gave it warm milk, and made a cozy little bed out of old towels. The small animal accepted everything calmly, but its piercing eyes seemed to watch every move with unusual intensity. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it now and turn on notifications, because you'll only find amazing stories like this right here. Lucas decided to name him Thor, because that little warrior had survived something terrible and deserved a strong name. The first weeks, something wasn't right. In the first few weeks, Thor recovered quickly. Too quickly, actually. His wounds healed at an impressive rate, and he started growing, but growing in a way that left everyone confused. His ears were far too pointy for a normal dog. His paws were becoming huge, disproportionate to his still small body. And those eyes, those golden yellow eyes that glowed in the dark in an almost supernatural way. Thor's behavior was also strange. He didn't bark like the other neighborhood dogs. Instead, he made low, guttural sounds that sounded more like muffled howls. Marcia began to worry. "Lucas, I think we need to take Thor to the vet. There's something different about him. Are you starting to suspect what Thor really is? Comment your theories below. Let's see who can guess it." The visit that changed everything. One Saturday morning, Lucas and his mother took Thor to the veterinary clinic of Dr. Roberto, an experienced professional who had worked with animals for over 30 years. As soon as the vet saw Thor walk through the door, his expression completely changed. He excused himself, went to the back of the clinic, and returned with a thick species identification book. "You should sit down," Dr. Roberto said seriously, startling both mother and son. "This is not a dog." The silence that followed felt as heavy as a mountain. "Thor is a maned wolf pup," the vet revealed, showing them photos in the book that looked exactly like the animal Lucas had rescued. "It's an endangered and legally protected species. He probably got separated from his mother at a very young age, or was a victim of wildlife trafficking. Like this video if you're shocked by that revelation. No one saw that coming, right?" Lucas felt his heart tighten. He had grown deeply attached to Thor. They played together every day. Thor slept at the foot of his bed, and the boy couldn't imagine life without his special companion. The hardest decision. Dr. Roberto calmly and empathetically explained the situation. Since Thor was a wild and protected animal, he couldn't stay in a domestic environment. He would need to go to a wildlife rehabilitation center where he'd be prepared to eventually return to nature. "But he's hurt. He needs me," Lucas protested, tears filling his eyes. "You saved his life, kid. the vet said, placing a hand on Lucas's shoulder. "And now you have to love him enough to let him have the life he deserves." Those words echoed in Lucas's mind for days. He knew Dr. Roberto was right, but that didn't make the farewell any less painful. Comment below. Would you be able to make that hard decision? Or would you keep Thor even if it was forbidden? No judgment here. I just want your honest opinion. After contacting Ibama and a wildlife rehabilitation center, it was decided that Thor would be transferred in 2 weeks. That would give him enough time to fully recover and give Lucas time to prepare for the goodbye. The last days, together. Those 2 weeks were the most emotional of Lucas's life. He spent every free moment with Thor, creating memories he would treasure forever. Thor kept growing fast. His maned wolf features became more and more evident. The long legs, the characteristic reddish fur, the dark mane along his neck. It was amazing how no one had realized it before, but the truth is, young pups can easily look like regular dogs in their early days. One night, Lucas was in the backyard watching the stars, with Thor lying beside him. The animal lifted his head and let out a low howl. His first real one. It was a beautiful sound, melancholic yet powerful. "You always knew who you were, didn't you, Thor?" murmured Lucas, running his hand over the animal's fur. "You were just waiting to grow up to show it." If that moment touched your heart, don't forget to leave a like and share this video with that friend who loves animals. The day of goodbye. When the day finally came, representatives from the rehabilitation center arrived with a proper transport crate and all the necessary paperwork. The biologist in charge, Dr. Fernanda, spoke at length with Lucas and his mother. She explained that Thor would go through an adaptation period at the center where he would learn how to hunt, socialize with others of his kind, and if everything went well, be reintroduced into a protected area where a monitored population of maned wolves lived. "What you did was heroic," said Dr. Fernanda to Lucas. "Many people would have just walked past an injured animal. You saved a precious life, a member of a threatened species. You should be very proud of that." Lucas nodded, trying to hold back his tears. He knelt beside Thor one last time, hugged him tightly and whispered, "You're going to be free, Thor. You'll run wild and have a real family. Thank you for being my friend." Thor licked the boy's face, as if he understood every word. "You're not going to lie. Your eyes are tearing up too, aren't they?" Comment Thor below if you got emotional. What happened next? You won't believe it. 6 months after that heartbreaking farewell, Lucas received an unexpected call. It was Dr. Fernanda from the rehabilitation center with news about Thor. "He adapted perfectly," she said excitedly. "He learned to hunt, bonded with other rescued maned wolves, and was released into the wild 3 months ago. But there's something you need to know." Lucas held his breath. "We put a tracking collar on him for monitoring. Last week, our researchers were doing fieldwork in the area where he was released, and Thor appeared. When he saw the researchers from a distance, he approached cautiously. And guess what he did?" "What?" asked Lucas, his heart racing. "He sniffed their clothes, especially a jacket that had your scent on it, the one you donated for us to use during his adaptation. Thor recognized your smell, Lucas. He stayed there for almost 10 minutes, as if he were remembering." Lucas couldn't hold back the tears. Thor remembered him. Even free, even living his wild life as he was meant to, that incredible animal still kept the memory of the boy who had saved him. If you're crying just like I did while making this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, because more heartwarming stories are on the way. The lesson that remains. The story of Lucas and Thor teaches us something profound about true love and compassion. Loving someone, whether a person or an animal, sometimes means making hard choices that go against our own desires. Lucas could have hidden Thor, tried to keep him illegally, but he chose to do the right thing, even though it was the hardest thing to do. And because of that, Thor now lives free, strong and healthy in his natural habitat. The bond between them remains. Lucas grew up and now studies biology, inspired by his experience with Thor. He wants to work in wildlife conservation, helping other animals just like he helped his furry friend. Sometimes, when he's alone, Lucas still thinks about that first day. A boy on his bike, an injured pup, and a simple decision to stop and help that changed two lives forever. Now it's your turn. And you? What would you have done in Lucas's place? Could you have said goodbye to Thor knowing it was the best thing for him? Have you ever experienced something similar with an animal? Comment below and share your story. I want to read every single one. And don't forget, like if this story touched your heart, subscribe for more incredible stories, turn on the bell so you don't miss any new videos. Share this with a friend who needs to hear Thor's story. See you in the next video with more stories that will move your heart. Until then, take good care of your pets. And remember, every animal deserves love, respect, and the chance to live the life they were meant to live. A big hug and see you next time. See.